Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to This Week in MTG, starring me, Magic TG Insider. This Week in MTG is sponsored by Nerd Rage Gaming. Go check them out online at nerdragegaming.com. Their link will be down in the description below. And now we move on to Grand Prix Manchester. Now that took place 2 weekends ago, and it's Dark Ascension Innistrad Limited. And in the finals, we had Alexander Darris playing a green-red Werewolves deck versus Mario Pascoli playing a Bant aggro deck. Now, who do you think did better? Alexander Darris did better, and he is your first Belgian winner of the Grand Prix since 1997. That's an achievement. Also in World of Magic, the SCG Open Rhode Island Series was this past weekend, and the format was standard. In the finals was Dustin Taylor versus Crick Lackman in a green-red aggro mirror match. Dustin Taylor came out on top, though, and he is your first $10,000 champion. And now, one of our favorite segments here on This Week in MTG, Wizards, Why Do You Do That?, where we explore the mishaps of Wizards of the Coast. Now this week, Delver of Secrets. I've put together a whole series of videos explaining what people have to do with Delver. This first video is a clip taken from the Innistrad set review from the Magic Show, and I call it The Old Delver. Check it out.
Yards, and that's one of them, which is nice. Now, Delver of Secrets to me is, an awesome limited bomb. If you flip him on turn 2, because you have an instant sorcerer on top, you are living the dream.
You are living the dream, but even if you have 7,
it's not. You're hurting to get it. I'm not going to say it's automatic.
Sketchy.
It's a little sketchy.
Yeah, but if you do live the dream, it's pretty nice. But again, it's just a 3-power guy on turn 1. It's not like Nikado on turn 1 kills you every single game. Ideally, you have some other flyers or removal spells or whatever, but it's still pretty good.
He's a fly man.
Alright, so now this next video clip I call the Kind of Old Delver. This was taken about a month and a half ago at the recent Star City Games Invitational, and this asked the pros, like Brad Nelson, Jerry Thompson, Brian Kilbler, was Delver of Secrets a mistake?
No. I don't think it's a powerful card, but there has to be powerful cards in the format. It's not warping the format. It still needs conditions to work. There's still a lot of ways to deal with it. It is, once you flip it, it's still just a 3-2. There needs to be some, tension in the early turns of Magic, and Planeswalkers already created this, so there's always going to be some turn that you need something to happen. So even if it's Delver on turn 2 or 3 that you need to interact with the games, it doesn't change that you're going to have to interact with people. So Delver's not a busted card. Stoneforge Batterskull, that was a little bit too big back in the day, but Delver on its own, it's a fine card.
I think Delver is on the upper bounds of how good a creature can realistically be. I mean, it's obviously one of the best creatures in Magic. I don't think it's a mistake per se, but I will be happy when it's gone.
Blue hasn't had an overpowered creature card in at least a set, so they really needed to step it up. I don't. It's just a creature. It's not very easy to flip. There are much more unbalanced things in the game than Delver of Secrets. The fact that it costs 1 is the only thing pushing the envelope. If it was a 2-mana 1/1 that flipped into a 4/4, it would probably be almost as good, but it wouldn't be as played as it is now. As far as Legacy is concerned, I think it's just right.
Probably. When it gets to the point where they're banning stuff like Wild Nikado because it invalidates a ton of different decks, then making a new, different Wild Nikado seems probably a bad idea. But it is a card that's fightable. The problem is that the rest of the deck is also good. If it was just Delver.
And that clip actually got cut off. So we have 3 more clips for you, and these are under the new Delver. How people are saying, oh my gosh, it should be banned, it's not good. So here's the first clip.
And today we're going to be talking about a couple interesting things in the Magic community these weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to talk about is all the Delvers.
There's a lot of them.
All of them.
And they're all flying home with little trophies.
Yeah. This last weekend, Delvers took home the Magic Online Champs 3. It took home GP Salt Lake City.
GP Turin,
and SCG Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
All 4 constructed events over the weekend, all 4 took home with 4 Delvers in their decks.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's getting to a point where you have to ask yourself, when does this become a problem?
Yeah.
When does it...
And again, unfortunately, that clip got cut off. Two more clips, and these are from Ruby
One of the big
Wrestlers,
stories of the last few weeks has been the emergence of Delver of Secrets as the enemy, with pretty much everyone attempting to find a way to beat the one-drop menace. When asked why they made everyone hate Delver so much, Wizards replied, "We just wanted people to hate Jeff Goldblum as much as we do." Speaking of the insectile abomination, let's delve a little deeper into everyone's favorite Swarmyard target in this week's edition of Deep Analysis. Because of the popularity of Delver of Secrets, some speculators are hoarding Innistrad checklist cards, predicting that in several years there will be a demand. So, for the same reason, I've started hoarding opaque sleeves. Solves the same problem. And that ends this week's edition of Deep Analysis.
So as you can see, Delver of Secrets is a big problem. I know people are saying it's going to get banned, but there's no way that they're going to ban a common card. So that's what I think of the banning of Delver, and now let's move on. Announcing, drumroll please, Magic Duel Decks, Izzet vs Golgari. Whoop-de-doo! So, as you can see, they gave us this cool concept art. It's obviously Niv Mizzet now. They've given us a piece of concept art from Niv Mizzet before. Does that look familiar? That is the Return to Ravnica concept art. So, both of these would be really cool. It'd be really cool if this art, the dual deck art, was on like a Niv Mizzet Planeswalker. You know, if it looked something like that, I think that'd be cool. You know, just whatever. Remember, guys, you can get your dual decks Izzet vs Golgari, releasing on September 7th, 2012. Funny thing about that, that releases approximately a month before Return to Ravnica, so little foreshadowing, maybe we'll get a couple preview cards from that. So, yeah, I'm really excited about dual decks Izzet vs Golgari. And now, I would like to share my footage from the recent Avacyn Restored pre-release. Alright, so the video cut off there, but congratulations to Norm and Joe, winners of the Helvault Prerelease. Fun fact about Norm, he is actually one of the owners of Nerd Rage Gaming. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what was in our Helvault? Well, there's been a little controversy about that. Remember from last week's edition of This Week in MTG? Do you guys remember this clip?
Let's get started. So first off, we got Avacyn Restored Spin Down Dies. Woohoo! We have oversized versions of all of the legendary angels, Sigarda, Gisela, and Bruna. Awesomeness. And then here we have Avacyn and Griselbrand. These are oversized versions, but again, these are 100% rumors. We're not...
And then there was also the angel and demon tokens. Well, everything was completely true. There were 6,000 Helvaults released, but 300 of them have a special surprise inside. Foil versions of everything. And what is that? Is it a DCI promo balance? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Only 30 premium Helvaults were distributed, with foil copies of everything, and cool GCI promos including Miss Balance, and even Diabolic Tutor. Now, because we always like to quote Mark Rosewater, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the different Helvaults, and we'd like to hear what he says about it. We didn't have the resources to put that stuff in every Helvault, though we thought it would be fun to have it randomly in some Helvaults. Magic is all about variance and what you open, so it felt like it would be a really cool way to spice things up. You have to understand that there are a small number of premium Helvaults versus how many Helvaults existed. If we divvied up all the premium cards among the Helvaults, there wouldn't have been one per Helvault. So, that's what Mark Rosewater has to say. What do you have to say about the controversy surrounding what was in the Helvault? Be sure to comment down below. Also, special thanks to Pete. He is the owner of North Shore Comics, where I go to play Magic, and he gave me the Helvault. So right now, the Helvault sitting in my bedroom. That is really cool. Next up, we're going to discuss the Barcelona Fantasy Pro Tour. So if you may or may not know, this coming weekend is Pro Tour Barcelona, where all of the pros come and gather around Avacyn Restored. Now, this Pro Tour's theme is block constructed, so they're doing a Fantasy Pro Tour. For those of you that don't know what a Fantasy Pro Tour is, you have to pick cards in the following 9 categories: Planeswalker, creature with converted mana cost 5 or more, 3 or 4, 2 or less, an instant, a sorcery, an enchantment, an artifact, and a land. And also, you get points for each one of these you guess correctly that is the most played. And if it happens to be a tiebreaker, you also have to pick a pro player. Now, I'm going to go through all my picks, chose which ones I picked. So for Planeswalker, I chose Liliana of the Veil. I think Liliana is a very powerful card, and only casting 3 mana is very cheap. It's going to be really cool in a block constructed. Creature with 5 or more, Wolfear Silverheart. Wolfear Silverheart is essentially an 8/8 for 5 mana. Now, I think this is a really powerful card, and it fits directly in the deck with our next card, Huntmaster of the Fells. So that is my pick for converted mana cost 3 or 4. It's an amazing card, goes perfectly with Wolfear Silverheart, Strangler Rootgeist, all these other cards in that green-red aggro deck that recently both placed in the finals of SCG Open, Rhode Island. And for creature converted mana cost 2 or less, we'll go into a different deck here. I chose Champion of the Parish. Now, a Boros Humans deck would be really cool to have in the standard environment. Champion of the Parish, Honor... I'm kidding. Honor it appears not in block constructed. Yeah. Champion of the Parish, Somberwald Vigilante, Gather the Townsfolk, Increasing Devotion, all these great cards. For instant, I chose Tragic Slip. Tragic Slip is great removal, especially for a single black that can kill almost any creature in this environment. For sorcery, I chose Gather the Townsfolk just for that synergy with Champion of the Parish. Both these cards work really well together, and I think Gather the Townsfolk, although Intangible Virtues banned, will be a great addition. And speaking of that, because Intangible Virtues banned, there weren't many awesome enchantments. But I decided to choose my sleeper card for Fantasy Pro Tour. I chose Favorable Winds. Why? It's an amazing card. People have been calling it Tangible Virtue. Why? Because it's the same thing, just with a different exception. So I think it's a really nice card, should fit in a lot of Ghoul decks, and I'd be excited to see that at the Pro Tour. For Artifact, again, there weren't many, so I decided to go with Runechanter's Pike. You know, Runechanter's Pike is a really nice card, especially in the Humans deck, in Delver decks if one pops up, so I'm going to keep my eye on that one. And land, a lot of people normally choose a colored land, so as, okay, this is going to be the deck played, so that's what land I'm going to choose. I actually chose Cavern of Souls. Now, Cavern of Souls is a really, really nice card. I talked about it in my last episode. If you want to, go check that one out. And that's why I chose Cavern of Souls. And pro player, I chose Brian Kibler. Now, Brian Kibler has won tons of events. He recently won Pro Tour Austin in 2009 and Pro Tour Dark Ascension in Honolulu, Hawaii. So he has tons of recent experience. He's a defending champion. And he also has 5 other Pro Tour top 8. So that's why I chose Brian Kibler to represent me at the Fantasy Pro Tour. If you like the Fantasy Pro Tour, join it on Facebook or at the Daily MTG website. And I'll be excited to see what you have to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to click the links right here. Check out Nerd Rage Gaming on Facebook. Look at my video, What is Nerd Rage Gaming, to talk about that. And also, on the Nerd Rage Gaming website, be sure to click that awesome banner to check out this week in MTG webcast. For Magic TG Insider, Nerd Rage Gaming, North Shore Comics, and thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.